Morning everyone, it's Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. It is Friday the 7th of February 2020. Sorry about the voice. I have been sick for the past 2 weeks. It started as a sinus infection, has worked its way into a cold. When I get sick, it always goes to my throat, so I sound more hoarse, more squeaky, more prepubescent boy than I usually do. Yeah. It's been a month. I have a lot to talk about. I want to start out this video by saying how sad I was to hear about Leanne from Lost in Floss passing. She was an early commenter on my videos, and I've watched them. I've commented back and forth with her a few times, and I had just watched their last video, and then 2 weeks later she was gone. And there's no words to say. I am so very sorry, and I am thinking about her family, and I am thinking about her friend Barb, who obviously did videos with her, and my thoughts and prayers are with all of you. Okay, I have a lot to talk about because it has been a month. So I'm going to get started with frustrations over YouTube. So my last video, I was doing a giveaway on one of my journals, and the first couple of days I was getting several comments, several people asking to be part of the giveaway, and then all of a sudden the comments stopped. People were watching the video, but there was absolutely no comments. 2 days go by without any comments, and I'm thinking, well, that's just a little bit weird. 4 days go by without any comments. The number of watching has gone up, but no comments for 4 days. Every time I went into my phone to look and see if there were any new comments, there was always the same one, same last comment there. So after a week with no comments, I finally came home, and on my laptop went into YouTube Studio and looked at my video, and of course it shows that the last comment that I saw is still the last one visible. And then I look up above it, and there's 3 categories, and one says public, comments that need approval, and likely spam. There were 2 comments in the likely spam category. Neither one was spam. In the comments that needed approval, there was 27, something like that. Susanna Warner, who has been commenting on my videos since the beginning, needed to be approved. Kay Richards, who's been a commenter on my videos, needed to be approved. Sharon Worm, who is a commenter on my videos, needed to be approved. Michelle Bendy needed to be approved. Why? Needless to say, I approved all of these comments, and then spent I don't know how much time going through YouTube trying to figure out what was going on. But I think I have it fixed. I don't know. But after doing all that, I went back and monetized again, and it's like, if YouTube is going to be this much of a hassle for me to make my videos, eventually someday I have to get paid by them. That's where I'm at right now. But anyway, fortunately, I did all of that before the 24th, which was my cutoff date for the giveaway. And it's a good thing that I did do that, because when I asked Mark to give me the random number, Sharon Worm, one of the ladies who needed to be approved, was the winner. And I contacted her and I've sent it off and she has already received it. So thank you to everybody who participated in that. If anybody else who does videos has had similar frustrations with YouTube, give me a comment down below and let me know what you've done to fix it, because I am not tech savvy. And yeah, so I have my page of notes of things to go over because it's been a month. So let me cross off that I've done that and I have done that. Okay. I have 3 finishes. I want to talk some about journaling. I have a couple of projects that I'm working on. I have some plans. And of course, First Thursday. But I also want to talk about the Harry Potter event that I went to again this January. I've talked about this the past couple of years. There is a place in Salem. It is called The Archive. It is a coffee/bar. You can go there and get specialty coffee drinks. In the evenings, you can go there and get specialty alcoholic drinks. And 3 years ago, they had their first Harry Potter event. This place, their normal everyday decor is very reminiscent of steampunk. So when they decorated it that first year for Hogwarts, they had the envelopes hanging in the window that were all addressed to the various people. Jenny Weasley at the Burrow, Harry Potter in the cupboard under the stairs, and all that. And year 2, they decorated everything for year 2, Chamber of Secrets. My daughter Erin went with me the first year. Last year, both Erin and my son Philip went with me. After I went last year, I contacted the owner of the archive and I said, hey, I have a bunch of point of sales items from when my store sold the movies. These were the cutouts that they used to display around the movies. So I contacted him. I said, I have a bunch of this stuff. Would you be interested in it? And Mark and I packed it all up, took it in, showed it to him. He bought everything. So when Erin and Philip and I went to the Harry Potter event this year, all the stuff that I sold to him last year had been incorporated in their decorations. And that made me feel so good. It made me feel so good that I had saved all that stuff for so long and then finally found the perfect place to rehome it. So it was fantastic. On Instagram, I posted pictures of several of the drinks that we had because they make themed drinks and themed food. One of the dishes that we had was Mrs. Weasley's shepherd pie. It was very, very yummy. Mashed potatoes, brown gravy, beef and veggies, and yum. And then there was the full moon fondue that actually had edible gold flakes in it. So good. And I wore my Hogwarts t-shirt there, and a random lady came up to me wearing the same exact shirt. So there's a picture of her and I. I have no idea what her name is. I don't know her from, anyone. But there's a picture of my Hogwarts twin and me on Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to start with telling you a little story about my bonus child. And you're going, huh? What? I may have mentioned this before. When my daughter met her husband, Chris, he already had a daughter from a previous relationship. Her name is Raven. And I didn't want to refer to her as my step-granddaughter, so she became my bonus child. And I've used that term ever since. I have 2 granddaughters and a bonus child. They're all granddaughters. She's 22 now. She's been in my life for 14 years. She's my granddaughter. But I still refer to her as my bonus child. Last year, she met this very nice young man. His name is Patrick. And Patrick is tall and slender, and he has long, long dark brown hair, and he dresses goth. Think Marilyn Manson, only Patrick is very handsome and Marilyn Manson is not. So anything goth is something good for them. And it's good to know this because, you know, you get to know the people around you and the things that they like and the things that you want to do for them. Well, Patrick was in a car accident and he's okay. He wasn't hurt bad. He did have a concussion. He was knocked out momentarily. He flipped his Jeep. He did have glass embedded in his skin, and Erin called me. She happened to call me. Well, she called me the Friday that happened. Wanted to know what I was doing, and I told her, well, you know, I'm having lunch. And she goes, well, I'm on my way home because of the accident, she told me. And she goes, and I'm going to stop at your house first. My daughter is a nurse. She does pediatric triage for a clinic up in Portland. And when she was up there working, when she got this call, and needless to say, she got very concerned, very emotional, and her work sent her home. She knew that Patrick and Raven wouldn't be back at her house until later on that evening, so she came to see me because I'm her mom, and obviously I now need to distract her until she can see this young man who is now basically her son-in-law. He's my bonus child too. So anyway, when she got to my house, I happened to be upstairs. I was starting to make another journal. And to distract her, I told her to start picking out paper for it. Pick out something that can be used for the cover of this journal, and then pick out this and pick out that. And pretty soon she was really getting into doing that. And over the course of that afternoon, the two of us together created a journal. And again, I've posted pictures of that on Instagram with my daughter doing her happy dance, because about halfway through it, I realized this was her journal. When she made the label and wrote her name on it and glued it into it, I knew it was her journal. But then I decided that I wanted to make one for Raven. And again, think Gothic. And this is the cover of the one that I made for Raven. I've shown pictures of this on Instagram, but these are all things that I think that she will really, really like and enjoy. So this one is hers. She doesn't know I've made it yet because I was waiting to show you all on this video. And then I thought, well, if I'm making something for her, I also need to make something that she and Patrick can share. I am not a big Valentine stitcher, but somebody had posted this pattern on Facebook, FlossTube, Instagram, somewhere. And I thought, oh my God, that is the perfect pattern for Patrick and Raven. Raven asked me at Thanksgiving if I would make a Christmas stocking for Patrick. And I said, well, yes, I will, but obviously not last year, because between Thanksgiving and Christmas, there just wasn't time. And I told her, I said, I would like the two of you to come over and help pick out something that he would like. But anyway, the pattern that I decided to stitch for Patrick and Raven is a Witchy stitcher. This is called Baphomet Valentine. Now, for somebody who's goth, I thought, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So I had some black Aida and I started stitching it. Warning, do not eat or drink anything during the next part of this video, because if you snort, you better leave a comment down below. I want to know, Linda, put your Pepsi away. When I started stitching this pattern, I started here in the very center. It's a darker red there, and I worked up around the outer sides, the undersides of the horns. And I got that done, and I'm looking at it, and I took a picture of it, and I sent it to my daughter. And I said, is it just me, or does this look like a vagina and fallopian tubes? And then my next comment to my daughter was, do you think Raven and Patrick will like it? Not thinking in my mind that I haven't told her what the pattern is or what it's going to look like. Her reply was, yes, it does, and I'm not sure if Raven and Patrick are into vagina art. Okay, so needless to say, I then had to post that conversation on the Facebook group, the Stitchers Coven, because the Stitchers Coven is really a fantastic group. There are so many like-minded people there. There's people that do cross-stitch. There are people who are witchy, like me. Most of the time, I spend my time in there posting memes that inspire me or can inspire other people, and sharing strange conversations like this with the group, because I never feel like I'm going to be judged for sharing something strange and bizarre like vagina art in the group. So when I finished it, I posted it, and I was so tickled with somebody coming back and commenting that that was the nicest looking vagina art that they have ever seen. I found the frame at Walmart. It's the first time I've been in a Walmart in ages. I had Mark spray paint it black for me, but this is the finished piece for Patrick and Raven. I put their initials down here, and I'm going to give them this and this for Valentine's Day, which, since I don't normally celebrate Valentine's Day, is a big deal. Where to put the things? Hold on a moment. So when I went to purchase that pattern, I also purchased a couple other patterns. 2 more from the Witchy Stitcher, Creature of the Night, Rocky Horror. My daughter and I watch this, and we sing the songs, and we do the dance. And the first time Raven saw Aaron and I doing the time warp, she just looked at us and she goes, I now know where Aaron gets it from. Yes, thank you very much. So, Creature of the Night. The other one that I saw that I really, really like was Beastly Halloween. Because that's gorgeous. So gorgeous. And then I also purchased the pattern from Fiddlesticks AU, the little koala pattern. I purchased this because it was making a donation towards the firefighters in Australia. I'm not going to stitch a koala. It's just not... Come on, people. You know me. Koalas? Yeah, no. It's like me putting bows and picks on things. No. Alrighty, let me check. I got that done, and I got that done, and that done, and that done. All right. So, in my last video, I was telling you about my voyage to the United States on the SS United States, the quest I went on after finding this little tag from the Tim Holtz ephemera thing. I went online, I went to eBay, and I ordered a couple of things. And I showed you the model that Mark got for me of the SS United States. I've already sent that home with Philip. He said he will paint it for me. I have no idea when that will be done, and it doesn't matter. There's no time frame for it. But when he gets that done, Mark is going to make a shadow box for me, because this was the tag out of the ephemera. This is an actual luggage tag from the SS United States. There's the back of it. This is almost pristine. There's a little 10 with a slash behind it written in pencil on it. But I have this. And the other thing that I got, I think this is really cool. I bought a needle case. And, you know, looking at the pictures, I assumed that it was going to be about the same size as this. This is a needle case. And it's not completely full. A needle fell out. It's not completely full. But, yeah, I thought that this was pretty cool. Now I've dropped a needle somewhere on it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me put that back in its cover. Those two things are going to go in the shadow box with the model when Philip gets it done. So I thought that was pretty cool. And thank you for all the people who commented about that, my voyage over here on the SS United States. You know, oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you about that. While I was searching through eBay and across the internet trying to find more information on the SS United States, I know there is a conservancy group that owns the ship itself. And I know that it is in a dock in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they're trying to raise money, obviously, to restore it or do something with it. But I found a link to their website. They're looking for people to tell them stories about their trip on the SS United States. And I thought, I wonder if they would have a copy of the passenger list. So I reached out to them. I said, I know my family came over either late 1961 or early 1962. Here is my family name. Here is the names as they were listed in the passenger list. By any chance, do you have anything? And I figured that I would not hear back from them. So it surprised the heck out of me when I did. No, they don't have a copy of that passenger list. They are still trying to collect information from various people about being passengers. She asked me to share my story with her, and my reply to her was, I was 2. I have no memories of this trip at all. I'm just trying to get information for myself. But I was so excited because she actually replied to me, or this woman with the group replied to me. So the information is still out there somewhere someday, and I fully believe that when the time is right, it will show up. There you go. All right, cross stitch. I've shown some. I have a couple of finishes. Remember when I was telling you about Abner, the abominable snowman? Well, I finished Winterberry snowman. And the pattern shows it being, or says that it's a candle mat. So that's what I finished it into. And here is my finish for Winterberry snowman. Just in case you're wondering, this one is Abner. Will always be Abner. The other 5 have no names. When I messed up over here with him, I came over and I started on this side and I worked down around this way. And when I got back here, yes, I did have to make another half stitch correction. But in the vines, you don't see it. You don't know it. I love the colors on this. And I just made it into a candle mat. There's a piece of batting between that. I took the backing fabric, split it in half, sewed it back together and left a gap about this big to turn it inside out. Used my chopstick. I used a chopstick running it in there to make sure that all the edges were pushed out and just sewed it up the middle. And I have a finish for this. This is going to go on my candle stand that is on my kitchen table so that I have something at winter. And the other thing that I had finished this a while back. I did the Erica Michaels Scary Berry. Finished it a few months ago, shared that finish with you, but I didn't know how to make it into a berry. And I know that at Acorns and Threads that they have classes and they were going to be having their class soon. But then I was watching FlossTube and Vanna had a new tutorial up for finishing strawberries. So I went to watch her video. The lady is amazing and is awesome, and the fact that she takes the time to make these tutorials for us so that we can finish things ourselves, all hail Vanna. One of the things that she said she does is she took the template from inside the pattern and she made a plastic template so that she could see through that to figure out where to make her stitch lines for finishing her piece. So I went to Mark because out in Mark's shop, there's all sorts of amazing stuff out there. Okay, this is the template on the back. You make this and you double it so you have the full width of the strawberry, and then you can line it up at the base of your strawberry to finish it. So I went out and asked Mark if he had a piece of plastic and he could make a template for me. I'm thinking a thin piece of plastic. I love my husband. I love my husband so much for so many various reasons. He found a piece of plexiglass and he made me a template. It's an 1/8 of an inch thick piece of plexiglass, so I will have a template. I needed it to finish one strawberry. And yes, Stacy, I saw your comment on Instagram, and no, I'm not doing finishing for anybody else. I may rent this out, but you have to return it to me because I may eventually make another one. So, sitting down with Vanna's tutorial and my plexiglass template. God, I love the man. And I have more on that to tell you in a bit. I finished my strawberry. So we have the little witch and the graveyard and the moon, the tree, the ghosts, the bats. There's the back. There's the top. And I have finished my first strawberry. Thank you, Vanna. Okay, so that and that is done. Okay, I'm at 29 minutes. I want to tell you about my trip to work the other day because this is another reason why I love my husband. I have been sick with this sinus infection, cold, whatever the heck is going on in my head for almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks now. And I had left work early a week ago Wednesday because this. And I missed work Saturday because of this. And I made myself go to work Sunday even though I was still feeling really, really bad. And I had told Mark the night before I really would like to stay home one more day, but I need money. Okay. And Sunday is the day that I wrap up the whole week. Well, I made it to work Sunday. I did as much as I could until finally I just laid my head down on my desk and I called my manager and he comes walking over to the office and I said, I'm done. It's not finished. I'll leave a note for Karen, my work wife, and let her know what I haven't done, but I can't. I'm just done. So I came home. I was home Monday and Tuesday, and then I had to go back to work Wednesday. I like working on Wednesdays because it's the day that Karen is there. She's not doing books, I'm doing books. She's working, doing file maintenance for the store. But it's the only time that we get to work together. I was driving to work. I have a 45-minute drive one way to work. Driving to work, and I'm not quite halfway when all of a sudden my radio blacks out. And then it comes back on. And then it crackles and it blacks out. And then my car starts lurching. I've got gas. It doesn't feel like a flat tire. I pull over to the side of the road and I call Karen, my work wife, and tell her that I'm having issues. I'm going to turn my car around and try to drive back home so that I can take Mark's truck. I turn around. I probably get 500 yards from where I was at and my car dies. So now I'm sitting on the side of the road. It's 4:30 in the morning. It's dark out. It's raining. It's windy. I have no power in my car. I call Mark. Mark charges his cell phone downstairs. He's asleep upstairs. I knew he wouldn't hear his phone ring. Then I call my son-in-law, Chris, and I wake him up and I say, can you go wake Mark up for me? He gets Mark. Mark comes and gets me. We had to jumpstart my car 3 times. In between each one of these, I'm texting to my boss and to my work wife and telling them what's happening. My boss is going, we'll pay for an Uber. Just get to the store. We'll pay for an Uber. I'm not leaving my car on the side of the road. When I get home, I can take Mark's truck. The last time Mark jump-started me, I made it into Silverton. As I turned onto that last main road coming into town, my car was lurching so bad. But I made it into the driveway. And then I told Mark, I said, well, I'm going to take your truck now. And he goes, you better go get gas. And I don't know if you have enough gas to make it to the gas station. Oh, I did. And I was only 2 hours late for work. While I was sitting on the side of the road in the dark with no power, no heat, with the rain and the wind around the car, I turned on Floss Tube and I watched Stitching with the Sisterlies. If you have not watched their videos, oh my God, you need to watch their videos. I love those ladies. I love those ladies. They had me laughing. Absolutely fantastic. Watch them. Okay. So I still have more to talk about, but I'm at 34 minutes, so I'm going to stop the video here, start again because my phone doesn't record much longer than this. Splice my videos together. You know how it goes. If I didn't tell you, would you know? I don't know. But I told you. So there you go. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hi. So I took a moment to gently go blow my nose. I have to be careful doing that because the other thing with the sinuses going on is I've also had a couple of nosebleeds. One happened this morning, and it was amazing how fast I could throw my cross stitch out of the way and get my hand cupped underneath my face before I bled all over everything. And this has not been a fun past couple of weeks. So I have a couple projects that I've been working on, and I have a project that I am abandoning. And I'm going to save that for the end because it's going to lead into future projects. All right. So, this is my new start for this year. This is Abby Rose Designs Merry Christmas. I am stitching this on, I don't know what I'm stitching it on. So look at the tag. I am stitching this on 32 count Havana. And that is what I got accomplished. I took advice from everybody, and I've been stitching the outlines of the leaves. So yesterday when I was up at Acorns and Threads, I was able to fill in this whole leaf and didn't make a mistake. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am using the called for colors. Have it on a great big piece of Havana because I love Havana and I will use it for other things. And I have it in the bag that was made for me by Colleen, Sisterlies. So get that out of the way. The other project that I have been working on is Baltimore. This is where I'm at. The last time I showed this, I had been working in this square here, and I think I had these 3 bats on the bottom finished. So I've gotten this square all finished. I've gotten all of the gate up here started, and I'm starting my first tombstone. This is what I was working on this morning when the nose did its thing, and yeah, I threw it across the floor because I don't need to have blood on it. Okay. The project that I'm abandoning. I'm going to see if I can do this. I may have to splice a couple of pictures together to show it. I am abandoning my Alphonse Mucha. I can't even begin to tell you how irritated and frustrated and annoyed I am with that. But yeah. Words. I've been working on the top border, and I've showed pictures of the top border, and as I sit there and I work on this border, I keep telling myself it looks so much more pixelated than anything I've ever done before. And you can all relate to this. When you're working on something, a large project, and you're working up really close and you see all those stitches right in your face, it does look pixelated. And sometimes you have to put it away from you, a distance away from you, so that you can see it, to see what the image is going to look like. And I kept doing that, but the detail was just not showing up. So let me grab this thing and see if I can turn my cameras around. All right. This is where I am at on this piece. And you cannot see any detail in this. It looks pixelated. It looks blurred. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to be piecing this video together. Let's hope this works out. Hold on. This is my evening reverie that I stitched for myself a few years ago. This one hangs in my living room. Look at the detail up there in the borders. That is just absolutely stunning. Look at the details in her face. Okay, again, here is what I've got stitched on the evening star. This image is what the evening star is supposed to look like. Look at that border. That's what my border is supposed to look like. This is what my border looks like. This is not what I wanted at all. If I manage to get this video spliced together, I'm going to be absolutely totally amazed because I keep hitting the stop button instead of the pause button on recording. So if you're seeing this, I somehow managed to make it work. I am so frustrated with the way my Alphonse Mucha looks. And I'm sitting here looking at this thinking, if this piece looks this pixelated now and I can't see the detail like I can on what his original artwork looks like the details that I can see on my evening reverie and on the morning star that I stitched for my daughter, I don't want to waste any more time on this, because looking at this image of his original artwork, the colors for this piece are wrong. The details are wrong. I contacted the Etsy shop that I purchased it from, and I said, I have a couple of issues. I said, first of all, the size of your pattern, it was printed out over 15 pages. The other 3 Alphonse Muchas that I've stitched were all printed out over 18 pages. They're all going to be the same size, but they were very easy to read. And I said, it's very hard to decipher your symbols. There's 146 colors in this, 146 symbols. And I said, my other issue with this is that it lacks the detail of his work. She sent me back a larger version of the pattern, and I compared what she sent me to what I already had, and basically all she did was enlarge the size of the pattern. She did nothing to correct the details at all. I replied to her, thank you, and that's it, and I'm done. I'm not going to mention the name of the shop. I know I've mentioned it in previous videos. If you want to know, go find it, because I'm not trying to badmouth anybody here. But it was a lesson learned. The first 2 Alphonse Muchas I bought both of those patterns from Mystic Stitch, and they don't have the evening star. I wish they did, because I would buy it from them in a heartbeat. When I stitched the moon, I got that one from Cross Stitch Collectibles, and again, the details on that one were absolutely spot on. The only thing for me is that it didn't have the border. A viewer had told me about this shop, and I was excited when I found it, and I purchased this pattern, the Evening Star. I also purchased the Pole Star, which was the 4th one in that series of his artwork. I'm not going to be using that pattern either. I figure if this one, the detail is that bad, I'm not going to try. I'm going to cut the border off this piece of Aida, save the Aida for something else, and it's done. I'm done. I'm just not going to do it. Again, I will keep searching for the Evening Star. I have not been able to find it anywhere else, and I've been searching for it for a couple of years. Someone suggested Hade. I don't think they have any Mukas. I don't know. I don't know. Eventually, I will find another Muka to stitch. I may not ever get the Evening Star, but there's so many Mukas, and I love his work. I love his work so much. So, I have decided, this idea came to me this morning as I was waking up. I'm making these journals. I have sold a couple of them so far, and I'm going to be making more of my journals and selling them on Instagram, hopefully. But I have decided that from this point forward, I am going to put a segment of the pattern. It's a 15-page pattern. Good luck if you want to copy it, because they're going to be random pieces and they're going to be hidden behind other artwork in the journal. But I figured if I could sell 4 journals, I can recoup what I've put out for buying the 2 patterns, buying the fabric, buying the floss. So, and then the journals will have a story that goes with them. But that means I need a new start. Now, I was watching someone the other day, and I've watched their video before. They're going to be my shout out this week. And apparently I enabled one of these 2 ladies to purchase a pattern. I don't feel bad about that at all. So I was watching Stitching at the Cabin, Julie and Alyssa. And Julie was making the comment that when I showed the Stony Creek pattern Halloween Village for the big Afghan that I wanted to make eventually, that I inspired her, and she went to Stony Creek and she found out that they have a Christmas village, and she purchased the pattern. She said she wasn't going to start it unless I started mine. Well, that wasn't enough to motivate me to start it. And then Muka happened. And I started thinking about it. And then I was watching Erin, 2 Martini Stitcher, and she was talking about leap year, leap day, new start, and working on a project and working on it and having it finished by the next leap year, leap day. So basically, if you started a project this February 29th, you would have 4 years to finish it. I already know that this project is going to take a couple of years to work on. So yesterday when I was up at Acorns and Threads, I ordered the fabric. If I have the fabric by the 29th of February, this will be my leap year, leap day, new start. That's hard to say. But yes, I have ordered this. I'm ordering a piece of 20 count Lugana that is 44.5 inches wide by 53.5 inches long. This pattern is 30 pages. I counted the number of skeins on the back. It will require over 200 skeins of DMC and 1 Threadworks and 1 Weeks dye work to stitch this. Being that it's DMC, I'm not buying all the floss ahead of time. I will kit this up 1 page at a time, and I will do a center top start and go from there. It takes 38 skeins of 310 black. How many cones is that? Because I'd probably be ahead buying 2 cones of 310 black. Some of the others, like the violet, very dark violet gray, 12 skeins. Moss green, 11 skeins. Tangerine, dark tangerine, 17 skeins. There's a lot of DMC. But this is my plan. And I warned Julie this morning. She said I'm evil. Just so you know, I much prefer the term wicked. So if I have the fabric before the 29th, this will be my new start. So I think that is everything that I have to share with you. I'm now going to sit down and see if I can splice this all together on Filmora and make it work. If you're watching this video, I succeeded. Wish me luck. Anyway, until next time, live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye.